What if I said, as a person who is working in a customer facing role, he goes on a call with a customer and wherein a customer gives him some feedback, he's able to deliver it within one day. This feedback could be some integration, some kind of feature improvement. However, if you go through the traditional route, the problems usually involve delving through, let's say, discussions with the product management team, discussions with the development team, doing discovery again, and QA analysis, etc. The whole process spans for some weeks and even months in some MNCs. What if I tell you that there is a way in this AI native world wherein you can just work along a path and let's say a process which is like a daily improvement for anyone who is working in a customer facing role, and he's able to deliver the value to the customer not in days but within some hours. Just to start with, my name is Rohan and I'm a part of the solutions engineering team here at FlytBase.
AI is evolving fast. Are you ready? Meet AI at FlytBase, your weekly hub to learn, upskill, and stay ahead in AI world. Let's dive into today's session.
I wanted to make this particular integration. Whenever there's an email that comes up, it needs to go to the one particular customer on his DM. So I then it was quite simple, right? I just made this quick integration, one API call, and yeah, there were three different API calls that I'm making for also sending it over to multiple other people. So this is for person number one, person number two, and this is a group, and it has all of those information into it. So it's just a normal API trigger. And yeah, for everybody's reference in this era, as be it a growth marketeer, be it a customer success representative, business development representative, a bit knowledge about what is an API is something that of course you should learn, or because in order to interact with this tool that becomes quite basic. So, and yeah, I will also answer your question out. I do know somebody will say, why do we even need to know? Because in this AI era, you can do it autonomously. That is what I'm going to talk about after this. So yeah, I did need some time in order to actually adopt to such workflows wherein I did research, I tried to create workflows, failed, and finally I got accustomed myself for curating such workflows quite easily. Like let's say I got off a customer call, in 5 minutes I made a workflow. And the customer, whatever he demanded, he got that feature out. So 5 minute time. Okay, that's the fastest thing that I was able to do. But is that something which everybody will be able to take in? I don't know. Should everybody try to do it? Again, no. In this AI era, why should you even waste time when there are some other smart ways to do it? So that's what I'm going to talk about. So basically, let me show you a counter workflow which I made now with the help of AI, which is much detailed. Now I will tell you, in the first workflow, there are no error loggings. Like if you are working with any LLMs, any kind of workflow driven tools, vibe coding, errors are something which you will never be able to avoid. And also, let's say if some other person needs to understand your workflow, it becomes very complicated because what idea you have put up, nobody else will be able to get it. But now there are ways. You can just see on my screen, it's a very detailed workflow. It's the same workflow, to be honest, but a much detailed workflow wherein there are multiple sub processes that are happening, some error loggings, etc. Did I make this myself? No. The first workflow I made it myself. It was able to work, but yeah, there were some errors that used to happen because of multiple pooling things happening simultaneously. But how did I make this? Right now, that is a question that will come to your mind. So let me actually talk about the process that I actually followed, and let me then walk you down through this process. So the process that I actually followed was basically where I let's say first got off on a call with a customer, right? For everyone, you maybe, or Madhav, let's say you are a growth marketer, you went on a call, you gathered that data. Okay, this customer requires this feature. It would be really great for him to get it out as soon as possible to make him happy. That's the key metric, right? And net promoter score, making him happy for every customer facing role. That's the thing. So I feed that data into an LLM. Okay, like whatever the customer spoke about in that call, I feed that data into an LLM. Now, what all other things do I give to this LLM? I give to this LLM a complete documentation of whatever tool I will use for making some features out. Now, I will just tell you guys, like I this whole conversation is not constricted towards N8N or any kind of specific tool. In general, if you use any tool, a smart way is to tell an LLM or give the LLM the whole documentation of it. Because tomorrow, let's say there's a new tool, you will never be able to adapt to the 100% potential of that tool. You will be only able to use, let's say, 10% or 20% potential of that. Now, what I did smart way, I just there's a way wherein you can download the whole documentation. I downloaded that, gave it to the LLM, and now it knows much better than me on how to use that, right? And then I told him, like I gave him that context that okay, this is what I think or the workflow looks like, because I already knew. On your case, you can actually put up your company's internal, like maybe there's some kind of architecture diagram that you may already have, or some processes that you follow internally, or an API documentation of your internal company that you have, that you can put it up. Some external APIs also, that let's say there's a third party tool that you want to integrate with, that API documentation as well you can put in. And finally, this uh, project, so I'll be actually talking about a Claude project to be very specific. This project will actually output you the whole code and just copy and paste into an N8N and your workflow is done. So basically, how much time will this save? The 5 minute thing that I have also talked about, because I was already like I adapted to that tool, I was able to work around with it, but that still wasn't the best thing, right? I had to waste some of my more time to make it work properly. But now with the LLM, it's just 1 minute. I just copy pasted my conversation, and even you can make an automation again using N8N to even automate this process, wherein directly you get the output, and that output can then be pasted to N8N. So let me show it over to you so that you can get a brief understanding. So basically, what I have, I'll just share my screen quickly. Let's say there's this Claude project, and just for your reference, I will share you the documentation of this N8N, because yeah, it's again quite headache for you guys to directly fetch it out online. I did some hack and finally I was able to get it. And there's one you can say instruction file wherein what like how should the output be. So that instruction I've actually given to this, and I will actually just run down through one conversation that I recently had. Let's say the same conversation that I just showed you about, right? There's a Gmail, you can say notification, and I want a WhatsApp output. Now, let him figure it out. But yeah, I gave him a brief level context that I have the APIs already available because I was already brainstorming with some other tools. And it was able to output me, let's say, a very big something, some code, which I don't understand. But I just asked it itself, like, okay, what should I do with this? It said to me, just copy and paste it. So I just got over here and I just copy it. And let me just try to copy it right now. And if you just paste it over into your chat, let me do it. So yeah, it's quite tedious to find that copy button sometimes. Yeah. So let's say I just copied it. I go to N8N, and let's say if I try to just paste it over, it directly makes your workflow. Now, what I did basically, let's say you have your customer conversation, whatever that you did, and create a Claude project or even Chat GPT project works just for your reference. Any kind of projects wherein you can put up additional context, multiple files that it can parse through. And finally, the output that whatever you will get, you can directly copy and paste that snippet. It's a JSON snippet for the technical people and people who do not understand. It's a thing that you just need to paste it and your workflow is done. And what now you need to do, you just need to log into, let's say, your particular triggers that you have over here. And the best thing, this works beautifully, much better than whatever I made earlier. Now, what problem did it solve? Right now, that is very important. Okay, it's fine. We make workflows. Did that even help? Like, is my customer happy? Right? That's the thing that I'm trying to tell you about. So, if you go to the win-win situation, number one, I'm so sorry. Yeah, we just make a full screen. So Yeah. So one of the most important thing is whether it makes a win-win situation for your customer or not, right? So the first thing is it's a win-win situation. How? Quick resolution, right? The customer got a very quick, you can say, feature rolled out. Now, again, let's take a very quick example. Maybe it could have been a third-party integration that you are doing with a tool. Maybe it could have been a dashboard. Now yes, you may have a question. I cannot make a user interface, right, using this N8, and it's just a backend to backend triggers. I will talk about it as well, just a very quick glimpse on how I make dashboards. But let's take on the backend to backend integration, wherein I required this WhatsApp message to be rolled out. I was able to give it to him in 5 minutes, right? So 5 minutes, or in your case it is 1 minute. Rapid prototyping, right? So instead of, now let's say if I gave to my PM team, they would have taken, as they said, 2 weeks to do that prototyping, roll it out, do the discovery. I was able to give them right ASAP and during that time. And was that production ready? Yes, it is. Like, it is production ready because this tool itself handles all of those production related stuff. And many of the enterprises do have this concern that, okay, I cannot give any AI or any other tool access of my APIs. The answer is you can deploy N8N locally on your own cloud network or on your laptop as well, or on a server. So that is also possible. Now, how, yeah, so for the customer, it is a win-win situation because he's able to get a quick resolution on whatever he wanted. For a PM team, how is it a quick thing again? Now, let's say your customer has gotten this tool. I know it's not the tool which he required. Maybe it's a hack that he has got. It's working, but not the best. But at least whatever you have given, you get feedback on the top of it. And that can be used to reduce the actual development time that the traditional process will have followed. So now your PM team will get a scope wherein the customer has actually used something which he wanted, and that scoped out feature will actually try to reduce the M1, M2, M3 milestone gaps into, let's say, one milestone wherein he gets what he wants, but still he's able to make his way through the quick hack that you have done. Now, again, a very good understanding. The thing that I just told you about, it's in production for my customers, and I gave this code to my PM team, and they said that, yeah, this is something that we'll directly implement. Why to even work on this code? Because you have made a code. So what, I don't know coding. I didn't know what they are talking about. So basically, I just gave them this project file. I told them that, okay, you can copy this JSON script, you can make a Python script out of it. They copy pasted it, they did some interfacing logging, and now on our platform we have this feature. So that is how even the development time has gotten reduced. So PM team is happy because that they do not need to spend that much time on development. PM team is able to get a good scope that they can work on. And for the business, I was able to sell. That's the best thing, right? I made money on the top of whatever integration I built. So my customer got the quick outcome. They were able to get the quick resolution. And finally, the whole, it's a circle. So that's how you can make your business happy, you can make your customers happy, you can make the PM team happy, and you yourself can be happy. So that was a very quick glimpse on the backend integration part and how I have been rapid prototyping using N8N for some of my customer workflows. And just to talk about some other workflows also that I have built in using N8N, to be very specific, I have built customer support agents, 24 cross customer support agents, wherein on WhatsApp, on Telegram, on Slack, or on phone call, you can dial in a number and the AI starts talking with you. The 11 Labs thing that you just saw before, I used that. And earlier that did not have that agentic flow, but now whatever workflow that you are seeing, a complex web-like thing, you can make similar workflow directly by typing on 11 labs for the whole 24 cross 7 customer calling. So it's that thing wherein you have to have like an LLM to help you out. And again, like earlier, if I would have known this thing, I would have saved a lot of my time to even try to learn a tool. But now, as I told you, you just need a Claude project, and Claude projects now are available in a free tier as well. And even ChatGPT projects have come to a free tier. So you do not need to buy a Claude or ChatGPT. You just need to input your files, context. That is it. You just need to spend time on that, and let that tool help you out with learning of a new tool. So that's how AI is helping AI develop. So yeah, one more very interesting thing. Like we have some sensors integrated, wherein if that sensor triggers, the drone takes off, etc. All those hardware level, complex level thing also I was able to integrate. And yeah, coming up to the final point, user interface, right? So again, using the same projects, you can create that scripts, and that scripts can actually be added as a base level context to some tools which make user interfaces. Now this user interfaces tool could be Replit, this could be Lovable. I like Replit because it is able to better handle the backend part for me. I manage the front end by brainstorming with Lovable and giving that HTML CSS back to my Replit project. But yeah, finally the goal is, am I able to make my customer happy? Yes. And how have I done it? It's just a Claude project finally that I'm working or playing around with. And yeah, so I think that was a very quick glimpse over how any BDR or a customer success representative, or in general any solutions engineer or any customer facing role, will be able to quickly rapid prototype, use AI, and able to solve the problems of your end customer. But yeah, I would really love, if you have any questions that you would like to ask around, I'll be able to answer those. And that's it, I think, from my end.
That's pretty cool. I mean, that was a pretty exhaustive session, Rohan. It's good that you at least put a mind map through, otherwise, even I was getting confused at a point. But thanks for the session. Let's get into the question answer session. So, any questions, guys, please do put it in the chat and feel free to unmute as well. You can ask any questions to Rohan. Yeah.
Hey, Rohan.
Yes.
Okay.
I,
So in
I,
a typical customer success implementation, okay. So
Mhm.
you have this discovery, okay,
Correct.
identifying the requirements, okay, and detailing them, and then after that implementation as per the discovery, okay. So discovery phase itself, it comes with its own challenges. Sometimes it may not be complete, or sometimes it may not be correct. Okay, it may have some shortcomings. And then implementation. Okay, so given the discovery is done, then I mean, implementing it as per the discovery. So okay, so first let's assume that discovery is all correct and complete. Okay, now how this tool can help? Okay, given a product, given it's an enterprise product. Okay, so given it's a enterprise product, so something needs to be implemented for an enterprise customer. Okay, so what are the dependencies on the documentation or any other data, or what is that this tool expects, okay, or to quickly build the prototype?
That's a very good question. And thank you so much for asking it out. Indeed, I was coming to that point now, how to make this into production. I think that is number one thing that you asked. And second,
Mhm,
what all tools and required. So, like, I will just talk about a bit about what I did. Like, I have so there's a cloud documentation available for any tools that you use, let's say, right?
mhm,
So for N8N, it has a cloud documentation that is available. And
mhm,
I scraped the whole documentation using a web scraper, and I was able to get a PDF file out of it. It was not available
mhm,
directly, but I downloaded a PDF file. So it actually consists of everything, like how to create workflows, any videos, any feature videos, feature documentations, everything regarding anything it has into it. So
mhm,
it has that context, number one, that is the document. Number
mhm,
two, into my project that I just showed you, right? I actually also gave it a bit context about my company, what I do as a person, what I know about my company, and about some stack. So basically, I told them that we have a very simple API stack wherein we have REST APIs available for things. And this all are the outputs that are obtained from this REST APIs, from this WebSockets. And did
mhm,
I make that documentation? No, I just asked my development team to give it over to me. What all things can I work with as a CSM for
mhm,
quickly building something for my customer? Because if the customer goes and builds that thing out, it will take a lot of time for them. So that's why I am able to make those things for them. Now, Once I have these things included into my project, I just, as I mentioned, right, I have a specific file. So just for your reference, I will actually give out all these files after this call ends. So you guys will receive it on your email. So that way you guys can also play around with it and figure it out whether it actually works for you or not. And we can brainstorm. We have coming, like you can join our community and we can stay connected. So you just type it down that okay, this is my customer context. He said this thing. I think this is what the workflow should look like. But you tell, like you ask AI, what do you think? Should it look like this? Look like that? And AI knows better. Sometimes it actually is able to actually go through the whole documentation. Even I don't know. I only know 5% or 10% of whatever tool I was just telling you about, N8N, Replit, etc. AI gave me the whole context that okay, this is what you can use and just copy paste it. And I asked, what should I do with it? It said copy paste. I copy and pasted it and I have that outcome. Now, answering your second question out as well, wherein this things sometimes could be a concern for an enterprise. Okay, you made some prototype which the customer is using, but can we deploy it? Where can we deploy it? So this prototyping stage can be used as your workflow, you can say logic that you initially your development team or your PM team had to sit down and make it. So you yourself are actually making the whole workflow and you yourself are making that PRD for your PM team to use about because you have the best context, right? You are talking every day with the end customer.
Mhm.
You have the complete discovery from the start till now,
Mhm.
so you can think better. And that whole thing workflow, then you can make a PRD out of it and directly with the code give it to your PM team that okay, take this, and that they can deploy it maybe on your own cloud stack or on an on-prem stack, etc. And to be honest, this is what I did. I just did that and they were very happy because their time was saved. They did not have to sit down and brainstorm about that workflow, which would have taken 5, 10 minutes or 1 hour for them. But now they got it hand in hand. And for me, I was able to deliver something to my customer quickly. So yeah, hope I was able to answer two of your questions, but you can correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, sort of. Thanks for that. And essentially, like your AI tool, okay, or the overall AI solution, it replaces the knowledge worker. Okay, so essentially, who has got the knowledge of the product and API, whatever it is. Okay, and whose job otherwise would have been to kind of no related to the implementations or API integration. So so that's the job your API sorry AI solution is helping with. Okay, and
Correct.
and it can also help. There are two possibilities. One is kind of implementing with whatever the existing product capabilities. Okay, and if certain product capability is not there, it should also
Mhm.
identify what is that gap that we have, right?
That's a
So
very smart thing. Exactly.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah. So yeah, your solutioning also helps that, right?
Correct. Correct. So directly it won't be able to, but
Mhm.
there's a way how you will be able to do it. So
Mhm.
let's say all of your customer calls. Now
Mhm.
I can think of a very smart thing. All my customer calls I have gathered into one. All the
Mhm.
meeting notes, all the
Mhm.
transcripts, I
Mhm.
have gathered into one sheet,
Mhm.
and it is able to scribe through all of those conversations, and it is smartly able to tell you, okay, this is what it should like you should do. Again, this is on the basis of past calls, and
Mhm.
you can tell it to think of the future perspective also, like okay, whatever conversations I have had, what do you think should I build? That's what you are trying to like you are asking, right? Proactive way of figuring out what features might I need to build into my product. Exactly, that is how you will be able to work around with it, and that is actually something that we are also working around or playing around with it. But yeah, it's the thing which will now come into the picture. So you yourself are the PM team, you yourself are the you can say the solutioning engineer, you are the
Mhm.
BDR, and you are the tech guy, a full stack, you can say kind of persona that will now seep in the AI era.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah.
Cool. Um, we had a question
Yeah.
asking if you've used emergent.sh and
I haven't
Bold
used,
and
I have used V0, I have used Bolt, I haven't used Emergent. These are vibe coding platforms. So as I told you, Replit. Lovable. All those tools are also similar. Like honestly speaking, if you know Bolt, if you know V0, it's the best thing because you understand vibe coding. Number one, number two, like sometimes I just struggle with vibe coding, and I do not like making dashboards. I prefer the backend stuff quickly, making some things out, wherein I'm able to get a workflow. But I do know I have worked around with it. But yeah, so Sujan, like if you have some questions that you would like to ask, I'll be able to help you with it.
Yeah, I think the same person Sujin
Yeah.
asked,
Oh, yeah.
compare
Yeah,
about
Rohan. Actually, the issue is quite a lot of time. Um, the similar boilerplate code gets generated and rewritten, and it goes into that sort of rewrite loops. And
Correct.
typically, I mean, as cloud code as of now is the gold standard, so to speak, in terms of efficiency and effectiveness, but it also has problems, right? So the
That's
thing is, like, how do we build a layer on top of these agentic coding platforms which will solve this problem?
So number one thing, like I completely understand where you're coming from. So on a like this is some problem which everybody faces, wherein it goes in a loop and it uses all of your credits, and then you get a bill of $100 or $200 directly. So like, do you add some context files before when you start working with your code base, or do you usually directly start with the vibe coding part? Because
Yeah,
I
with
will
Claude
that
Code, I
answer.
use the Claude MD rules files, cursor files.
Correct. Correct. No, so honestly speaking, I think this is a challenge at present wherein multiple people face this problem. And even what we usually do, we have made certain kind of, you can say, rule books now on the basis of our experience. We know where it might get stuck. And one smart thing, Sujan, that I can tell you, like usually how you even prompt with any kind of a vibe coding platform. If you type in the prompt in such a way, again, you need to ask the AI first what should be the prompt, because AI needs context window. It is not able to understand the whole context in one go. You need to make splits. So some of our developers, what they do is they have this project files in Chat GPT and Claude, wherein they type in their whole PRDs and what they want. And as you mentioned, the rule book as well. They make like one prompt into 4 or 5 different snippets, considering and telling it specifically that okay, there are some loops wherein you might get stuck. So on the basis of all of those contexts, please divide it in such a way wherein you can think of and where I can like cut it off. So it gives small chunks of prompts of 4 to 5 prompts. Again, Claude, uh, like the normal chat version itself gives you this, and that you can paste it around with your like Claude Code or V0 or Replit, Bolt, any tool, and then it is able to give you a much better outcome. Even people in our product team use this, and they are able to make beautiful dashboards, mockups quickly on Lovable using the same method. This is a way wherein we have tried to solve this problem now, because if I give randomly the prompt, maybe the system needs to get the prompt in a different way, and I am not a best person to even tell. Maybe natural language is something which the computer is still trying to understand. But yeah, I think that is a way wherein we are trying to solve this problem. Have you
Right,
tried
right.
this one?
Yeah. I think, yeah. So meta prompting, what you said, we've tried, but the thing is, also it needs some sort of testing and eval, sort of
Right.
CI/CD loop to also go in, work alongside the code being generated.
That's very true, Sujan. I'm so sorry. I might not be the best person to actually explain a bit about CI/CD loop, but I think you are going on the right path. But honestly speaking, at this point, indeed, there are multiple ways wherein people are trying to figure out the best possible way to work with a vibe coding platform and the tools that I just showed you. And yeah, someday the AI will be able to just do everything, whatever we think of.
Right. I mean, the issue is like even for a simple like a API sort of generation, right? The
Correct.
parameters it might hallucinate, right?
Multiple times. Yes.
Yeah. So even for, like, say, N8N HTTP request, uh,
Correct.
sometimes and when you have multiple steps, let's say the error rate is 5% at one step, at multiple
Correct.
steps the error rate compounds and the task, fails, right? And therefore we again still need the human in the loop. So the question then comes back to whether productivity has actually increased. I mean, like, sure, somebody could have dragged and dropped and typed it out versus you going and correcting the agent to do it, right? So that is like one of the practical pragmatic issues we are facing.
That's very true, Sujan. And we would really love your feedback as well on how you have been working around with all of the vibe coding platforms. And on our community, some of our developers are also aligned. And you can actually join some of our offline sessions if you are in and around Pune. So that would be really cool to work around with. But yeah,
Yeah, I would
I
love to join. I'm based out of Bangalore, but yeah, definitely, if I get the opportunity, I would definitely love to join. Yeah.
no, for sure, for sure.
Yeah.
I think, yeah,
Thanks a lot.
Shruti will be able to comment out whether any
Yeah.
upcoming sessions for the developers are also around the charts.
Correct. Thanks for pointing that out. We haven't set up our calendar yet, but we would soon be releasing a calendar where we would be letting you know about the offline and online events. So do join us, and you can for sure ask multiple questions that you asked that was not a pro and domain, but a lot of them in the group is from the domain. So you can ask it out there, and I'll have our developers answer those questions as well.
I think the gap between a developer and a seller will come to a point wherein everybody is a full stack person.
True.
Yeah, that's yeah. I think that is the sweet spot, right? When a customer success guy is able to prompt his way, and even like meta prompt, like you said, right?
Exactly.
And it is able to do everything. But I think the guardrails needs to be set by the devs in terms of the API testing, that the hallucination and other things is being managed to some extent. Yeah. So I think that would be a interesting talk. Maybe you can look into it, Shruti. Like one workaround we found to address that problem was to use contract testing platforms like Pact. API testing itself is a huge domain, as a
Correct.
part of software testing, right? So in that API testing, we had to integrate libraries with Pact and other platforms to check if the N8N request node which is being created is not hallucinating, and it is matching the Swagger OpenAI specs, Open API specs, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think that would be a quite interesting task, because like this level one, like many people would get into this and get frustrated that they are not able to get their productivity or effectiveness of using that to the next level, and then you still have to use all the software testing and the other paradigms which we used
Actually,
earlier.
we had like an event, I think 2, 3 weeks back, where one of our developers, Saurabh, had actually addressed this issue. But yeah, he had mentioned tools like Claude Code, where he had gone and done this complete browser MCP sort of thing, where this entire error loop or the testing loop or whatever it is that I think whatever you mentioned, is what he had specifically addressed using MCPs. So I would suggest if you can watch that video, or maybe after this session, maybe I can send it across to you personally. You can have a look at it. And if you still have doubts, maybe I can have, Saurabh also have a conversation with you. And for sure, please put out your doubts out there so that even we get topics to do
Yeah.
uh, sessions on those as well.
Yeah, definitely. I'll just look into it. If is it uploaded on the YouTube channel, Shruti?
Yes, it is
Yes.
on YouTube. It is on
Oh.
YouTube. You can find it out there.
Okay, thanks a lot. Thanks a lot,
So
Ron.
thing, Sujan, about this is we have a open, you can say, community, so anybody can join in, and it's a like a thing everybody like learns from everyone, so everyone is able to understand and go ahead. So yeah,
Definitely, I think I'm very bullish. I mean, like on
same.
N8N, to use it as a rapid prototyping tool to get
Correct.
the backend workflows, right? Use Superbase with N8N, and then, like you said, have a Replit do the backend and then Lovable to do the front end once the REST APIs are defined, right? So I
Exactly.
think we can build, like MVPs very fast. To this. I'm saying not just customer success. I'm saying even let's say a business development person who is interfacing with the client for gathering software requirements. He could do wireframes and he could do the schemas and then just generate that code like as a first cut.
No, that's very true. I myself have now transitioned to business development. So I am into business itself now, but I also work as a solutions engineer in other domains. So all in all, it's a full stack thing right now. I think everybody should know basics about APIs, WebSockets, webhooks. I think these are the basic jargons, and exactly what you mentioned, guardrails and how to work around with this AI systems is something that comes as the next step, which everybody needs to really tackle
Yeah.
about.
So, yeah, thanks. Yeah, so I think so talks like I've been attending few talks in between. I missed a few like Saurabh session. I will look into it.
Yeah.
But yes, I mean, if you look at some of these platforms like Replit or Emergent, what they're doing is they are like being hyper specific using sub agents and task
Correct.
specific agents and to give the context, relevant context to that specific sub agent and subtask, right? So that sort of a graph control loop, where each node of the graph is a subtask and a subagent is assigned to that, task. So that sort of a hyper focused sort of task delegation, task planning, and task execution, right? So talks on that sort of topics would be very interesting.
No, that's very good,
That's
Sujan.
right. I think that's where Claude Code also got very famous. They brought
Yeah,
in the
sub-agents.
sub-agents. Hey. But anyways, yeah, sure, got your point, Sujin. Thanks so much for walking us through what you think. And any of you who feel like there's something that you would like to hear about or learn about, we've been running so many experiments. Some are like, I don't know, it's in the wardrobe. Some are out there in production. There is a lot of learnings. So it would be great if all of us can come together and make this community more active. So thanks out there and looking forward to hearing from all of you. This is our WhatsApp community. I'm pasting it again out there. So if you would like to join, do join in. And let's continue our conversations out there.
Yeah, and feel free to connect with me on LinkedIn. I will actually send out a message on the WhatsApp community once you join. All the resources, whatever we discussed, it will be also there in the YouTube video description, as well as the LinkedIn URLs of all of us. So that way, all of us can stay connected and discuss way further.